Hello, this is Sonia from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. We're going to do our last entry for Seeds of Kindness, and I've chosen service for our last entry. I think, yeah, that is definitely a seed of kindness we can look at. Service was my word for 2020, or is still my word for 2020, so that's why I was sort of gravitated towards that. I'm going to use these beautiful printables from Kelly Banks, which is called Flowers of the Field. I just thought it is so perfect for this entry, and I just couldn't wait to use it. It is absolutely beautiful, beautiful, and I love this pattern papers. I actually got the printable for the pattern papers. The pattern papers is just so beautiful. I love these vintage sort of loose field flowers. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to choose one of these two pattern papers to as my background, and I will show you now in a minute what I'm thinking of doing. I've got this doily which I would like to fold in a cone to make a sort of a bunch of flowers that comes out at the top and sort of just spray open. And I want to use one of these pattern papers as my background, and I'm thinking I'm going to use the pink one because that one is absolutely gorgeous, but the flowers look exactly the same. So I don't want the flowers to get lost. So what I want to do is I want to use this pattern paper as a background. So I'm just cutting it according to size to make it a little bit smaller than the page. Usually if I use background papers, I try to cut it on a sort of a thinner cardstock, or it's almost a cardstock which is exactly the same thickness as my Bible, and it's the same color also. But I printed this printables a while ago. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, so I don't want to waste paper. So I'm using this cardstock, and I'm definitely going to stick it on with double-sided tape because it's harder cardstock. It needs to be sort of firmly on the page. So I'm playing around, and then I realized I actually cut the cardstock a bit small, but I was definitely not going to print another printable. I always try to use my printables and not print things unnecessary. So I'm just sort of cutting a little bit off from my leftovers, and I'm just adding to it at the end. You can't really see it. It doesn't really matter. It just gives the effect of this whole page is full of this beautiful button paper. And then I want to put the little service tag, obviously also there, because as I said, this entry is about my service, yeah. And as I previously said, that was my word for the year. Serve is actually my word for the year. The Lord has really been laying it on my heart to go that extra mile to serve people. And it's been interesting during COVID. You might think that I didn't had so many opportunities to serve people, but it was actually amazing how many times I could serve people, even if it's just picking up medicine for people, or buying food for people who's vulnerable, who couldn't go out, or making a meal for somebody ill, or we had a soup kitchen which we made some soup for the homeless. And I was just trying to be a little bit more conscious of serving other people more. So that is just amazing how the Lord has worked for him this year. So what I'm going to do is these beautiful bunches of flowers, I'm going to tuck them in that cone. So some of these flowers, obviously they are in flower pots, they are in envelopes, but those I try to put in the inside the cone or in the back of the cone. So just to create this total spray of flowers. So while you see me looking around, or playing around rather, with these flowers, I'm going to tell you where I'm going to journal in. I'm journaling in the verse that they suggested, Galatians 5 verse 13. It says, "For you were called to freedom, brothers, only not to use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. For the whole law is fulfilled in one word: you shall love your neighbor as yourself." So just to give you a little bit background for this verse, Paul is writing to the Galatians, and they are trying to go back to the old way. They said you can embrace Jesus, but we want you to be circumcised also. So Paul is trying to convince them that it is only by grace that you are saved. So he's talking about you have this freedom. So but he also said, this freedom you have now in Christ, don't let it be for you opportunity to indulge in your own flesh, but rather to serve one another. And this is so important because what are we free of? Often we say we as Christians are free, but what are we free from? And I truly believe we are free from being a slave to sin. We can say no to sin. We will never be totally without sin, but we've got the capacity because we've got the Holy Spirit in us to say no to sin, to flee to sin, to overcome sin with the help of the Holy Spirit. A non-believer almost can't help their sinning. They are just total slaves to their sinful nature. We are different. We've got the Holy Spirit in our hearts, so we don't have to be slave to sin. So what is the remedy for being not a slave to sin? It is serving one another in love. And that's very interesting. I think the quickest way we forget about ourselves and stop obsessing about ourselves, our own shortcomings, our own lack, our own discontentment, is actually to look beyond ourselves and to start serving each other. If you are discontented in a situation, in your marriage, in your church, in your friendship, start serving and you will see how your perspective changes and how things turns around. And that is just amazing that God knows in our heart that the moment when you forget about yourself and you look to others, that's a time when you're going to be happy and you're going to be purifying yourself and you're going to become more holy and you will not be a slave to yourself and to sin. And that is such an important lesson for today, this day and age, which we are a society that's totally obsessed by ourselves. I just want to quickly get back to the artwork. I'm trying to put this lace underneath the cone. In hindsight, obviously, I should have put first the lace down and then the cone on top. But I was getting this bright idea afterwards and thinking that looks very cute to put a little string around it and put this service tag around it, because I obviously want to bring that element in because we are looking at the service. So I'm just trying to trick it by I'm going to tuck some double-sided tape on the one side just to put it behind the cone, and then I'm just threading it through and pretending that I'm making a bow there, and then I'm just going to secure it at the back with double-sided tape. So yeah, I think it looks lovely. I'd love to get a bunch of flowers like this, won't we all? And I think it's such a nice symbol of thinking and respecting and honoring people by giving them flowers. And that is what service is. If we serve each other, it is because you honor each other and we love each other. And Jesus is the biggest example of all of that. And I was just reminded of Philippians 2, where it says that he humbled himself to the cross and he became a servant. He wasn't born into royalty, into privilege. He became a servant. He was born in a stable, and he was obedient to the cross to serve us. And he didn't think of himself as more important. And we need to follow Christ's example. That is the main example we need to follow. And that let him be our inspiration. So I'm just making a cluster there on the right-hand side just to make more use of the printables. And I'm just writing my little prayer, just saying to the Lord that I want to be reminded that this word is my word for the year and that I want to continue to serve him in humbleness and in humility. And I've just got this piece of cloth or material which I've just cut in a strip, and I'm going to try to make my own little bow. So I hope you enjoyed this entry. I love this series. It has really been wonderful to go through it. Thank you very much for each one who voted and who took part of it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you inspired. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you know what to do. Smack that subscribe bell. And remember to click little bell so you can get my notifications of my videos. And yeah, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching this series. I appreciate it very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.